All right. So this is another really introductory video, but this is going to be on a different subject, and the subject is going to be This Is 30. The plan for This Is 30 is going to be more or less a series, and the reason why I even wanted to start on This Is 30 is because the last video that I did, basically, I looked at myself and saw a lot of gray hairs, and with the gray hairs is typically associated with being an older age, but I honestly, with my hair, it started graying out when I was in my late 20s. Right now it is the end of September 2024. I'm 32 years old, born May 13th, 1992. And so basically I shaved my face, so I want to have the younger aesthetic. I want to be able to appeal to basically a younger crowd. I've tried, well, not tried, I've grown out a beard, a facial hair, this, that, and the third, and I just look homeless. And so once you get older, you realize there are things that work for you and things that do not. And therefore, as you get older, when you realize that things do not work for you, or a certain type of thing or style does not work for you, you have to immediately discard it. The good thing about getting older is that when you come to a conclusion about something, you act on it immediately. And therefore, when it comes to facial hair, I realize it doesn't really work for me, cut it off. So, with this introduction, um, basically how this goes is that from the age of about 12 to the age of about 25, I've come to pretty much get lucky to be alive. And with me being fortunate to be alive, I've had a little bit of time to think about my life, my past, to the degree where reflecting on the past, a lot of times you have to get to a certain point and move on, otherwise it becomes detrimental. But there's a little bit of reflection that can be beneficial in your life. And my life, for example, from the age of 12 to the age of 25, well, 29, I realized that I've had a lot of self sabotage in my life. And so as you get older, you realize that sometimes it is best to not necessarily slow down, but take a period of self reflection, maybe to slow down, but to do an evaluation of, okay, well, I've noticed a pattern in my behavior. In order to become the best version of myself, I have to slow down, evaluate, realize what I'm doing wrong, come up with a plan, execute on that plan in order to move on, in order to become a better version of myself in this 10-year period of my life. And so when I look back in the past, there really has not been a guy in particular who has fumbled more than I have. And so when we meet, what we mean about fumble is we've had opportunities, and with these opportunities, we did not capitalize on them. And so when we don't capitalize on opportunities, they become losses. And when we lose these opportunities, other people pick them up and capitalize on them for us. And so as men, we don't want to have this, because this is really the worst type of scenario that we can go through in life. And so there's a difference between having an opportunity fumbling and never having the opportunity at all. So there will be times in our lives where we have what we think are opportunities but are not opportunities at all. Those are things that we can live with because they're not in our control. But when we have opportunities and fumble them, either because we didn't capitalize or didn't recognize that it was an opportunity and we should have followed through, either that is going to the wind or someone else has capitalized on them. Those are usually the ones that are worst to us, because those are the ones that are going to stick in our memories. Those are the type of loss that we are unable to forget. So allow me to turn the page on my notes, and then we're gonna go on. So the purpose of this series, this is 30. What I would like to do for the people who are basically engaging with this content is to show how not to mess up in life. Because when it comes to opportunities, whoever's listening to this, are going to realize that most opportunities are served on a silver platter, which is contrary to what most people's perceptions on opportunities are. Most people probably think that you, me, he, or whatever has to do something extraordinary in order to get opportunities. When most opportunities are served on a silver platter, you have to think like a bounce pass or a layup or an alley oop, where a lot of the times all we have to do is do something simple in order to get what we want. But a lot of times we self sabotage ourselves in the whole process, and which leads to us not getting what we want. And in life, usually as men or animals, this, that, and the third, everything boils down to, can we get what we want? Everything outside of getting what you want, it's just a matter of it's just a matter of having a tool in order to get what you want. And so, getting older, you realize that 80% of the opportunities you want in life are typically going to be served on a silver platter. You, whoever, just has to have the awareness enough in order to take what's in front of us, make the easy layup, and move on. So 80% of the 100, which means that there's 20% left. So 10% of what we think of opportunities are really not opportunities, but are more or less just waste of time. They were never opportunities to get what we want to begin with. We're just wasting time. And then 10%. So 10% of opportunities is where most people are going to spend their time on, but it's going to be a fallacy, because like the reason why it's going to be a fallacy, the 10% of the opportunities that we work on, is because like we are emotionally invested in it. And so we believe that because we've put an X amount of effort or creativity into something, that that opportunity is going to be the best for us, and a lot of times that is not the case. So I basically given an overview of this is 30, and I want to go over a couple of things more or less on a general basis before I create content that's going to be more topic specific based. And so the first question is, well, why is age 30 so important? Well, age 30 is so important because it's more of a tweener age that has a hyphen, TWEENER. So it's between. So being age 30, it's between the age where like you are naive, you don't really know any better. I are just fumbling about. And then between the age of 40, 50, going beyond, where you and I have the experience, but we don't have like the youth and energy and everything. Also, why age 30 is so important, because in our cases, we probably did not expect to live this long, and therefore we did not prepare for what was going to happen, or we did not have people who could prepare us for being this age or at this type of moment and therefore we have to learn things either on the fly, or on the internet, or well, really on the fly. It's like improvising. And another point before I end this video is that the introduction to this is 30 is that we, myself and whoever's watching this video, learns the importance of simplicity. So basically, most failures at this point can basically be tracked down to um, the overcomplication of things, and we'll go through that more in detail as we go on.